everybody, welcome to another glorious Friday. Bank holiday around here was a washout, but at least we got a nice weather for today. Don't know if the birds are going to join us. Yes, I'm doing your bit now, quiet. I managed to capture the robin on film, shyly hiding behind a branch, and the thrush giving it all. End of last week I tacked a film on the end, and I'm going to do the same this week. More on that later. Now, matters arising. Remember this shot that we took? Showing the rails there. Now, that provoked quite a bit of interest really. Quite a number of people all commented on that one. Wrote in and commented, and thanks to you all for doing it. Thank you. Andrew Merriman, of course, joined in, and Andrew, you probably know, is very knowledgeable on all things railway, and Andrew was able to give us a bit more information. Quite a few of us describe the points as catch points, but apparently you only use catch points on an incline to arrest any traffic coming down. We all pretty much worked out what it was for. It was to stop anything from the branch line accidentally coming down and fouling the main line. So we pretty much all worked that out. But Andrew went into quite some detail. If you're interested at all in railways, you've got to read Andrew's post. I mean, if you look at this one here, if I can dig it out, that's the reply on catch points. That's amazing, amazing the detail Andrew goes to. You get the chance with this stuff to see behind the scenes, stuff you probably won't see anywhere else. Andrew's your man. So go into last week's film, stop the film, go into comments and look for Andrew Merriman. And in there you'll find that in actual fact he's gone into some of my older stuff as well. You might remember my films on the Cheltenham to Banbury direct railway, and Andrew's picked up the point at Kingham where they had a bypass line which went up an embankment over the main running lines and then down embankment on the other side to save them the trouble of having to come into the station and go back out again. Andrew says that viaduct, do you call it bridge? No, it's a bridge. That bridge and embankment actually crossed 6 lines to get there, so look at the saving that you had. You were able now to go from north or south directly through rather than have to come into the station. Brilliant. It also says that the embankment was built from coal waste from South Wales. It amazes me, and I see these embankments where a little bit of erosion is taking place. How many people or how many embankments actually use what looks like waste slag, and how they stayed up there? They're still there, a couple of them, or many of them, hundreds of years old, so obviously it must have been very economical for them as well, mustn't it really, using that stuff. But I can't do justice to Andrew's comments on here. You have to go and read them, and they really are worth reading, so I'll advise you to do that. Now, we had some other comments coming in. Paul Blanchard. Remember in that film then last week, the Barclay Road Station, there was a van body there faintly with the words Kingham on it. I surmised perhaps it was the Kingham Railway Junction that had a van for moving parts around, whatever, I don't know. But Paul says, on a slightly obscure note, Kingham was a well-known grocery wholesale company based in the Reading area in the 50s and 60s, with a large depot and smokery at Chippenham, backing onto the main line west of the Brunel Arches. Wow. Could that be from the grocery? Is it to do with the railway? I don't know. I think the only way we're going to find out is if somebody with actual knowledge of that van body happens to see this and lets us know. We live in hope. Richard KB is struggling. Richard, I think, is trying to watch the Parkinsons walks videos when they come up, which is some obscure time in the morning. I really should go to bed earlier. He said, I love it, the old fishing village. Looking forward to seeing your next video. Richard, get to bed for God's sake. Oh dear. Right, now, you might remember last week as well, James Weeks with his dog. I'm starting to crack up already. I haven't started yet. James told us that his Friday routine was make a cup of coffee, watch the Parkinsons Walks film, take the dog out for a walk. And the dog, not happy. I'm not surprised, having to wait. James writes, dog's becoming somewhat more resigned to the Friday schedule. Although, and I could be mistaken, I believe she rolled her eyes when I reached for my laptop and coffee just now. She did perk up when she heard the word Barclay, not being well versed in English spelling, and was definitely interested when she heard you'd be grubbing around there. I reckon she'll be waking me up next Friday morning, laptop in mouth, to watch with me. You might just have another subscriber there. Now I just need to get her to teach to turn the kettle on. Jane's going to say, but you know, true to her word, I've got a new subscriber, Sumac MacArthur, James's dog. And she writes, definitely worth postponing my walk. Thanks, Ron. OVM. Oh, what's the OVM? Well, reckon it's official virtual mascot. And we've got dogs joining the channel now. Are any cats out there? Hamsters, butchies? I mean, I'll take subscribers from wherever I can get them. I thought we had enough trouble with Michael and Tim ganging up on me. Now we've got James setting his dog on me. Goodness sake. Oh, well. Good, thanks, James. I chuckled at that all week. Oh dear. Right. Next week, we're off to Charfield. Now, you might think of, or remember Charfield and the station as the scene of a rather major catastrophe in 1928. A 3-train pile up there, and because the carriages are built of wood and because they used gas for lighting and heating, there's a big conflagration there, and quite a few people lost their lives as a result of that. We're going to visit the scene. I don't suppose there's anything left. There is a major surprise in this film, I have to say, and we'll go and visit the memorial. Now, the strange thing about the memorial there is that there were 2 children bodies on the train. Nobody ever came to claim them. They've never been claimed. And yet at the memorial services, a black widow was seen standing at the back. Ooh, didn't speak to anybody. Came and went. Now, a mystery for you. Get your teeth into that one. Okay, so that's next week then. Now, I'm going to put a little film on now, which is a nice way for me to get rid of some stock, if you like, that probably wouldn't get an airing otherwise. Now, the reason that I've chosen this film is because it's the sort of thing anybody could do. Anybody out there with a camera can go and do this. It's very, very simple. The camera that I used was a cheapie, but it did have a macro facility, which enabled me to get up close without too much effort. But you can probably do it with a zoom, if you've got a zoom facility on the camera. And I think our young John Sparks might pick his ears up at this one. It's a kind of a photographer's special. The film concentrates around our old garden that we used to have before we moved here. We were there for about 30 years, so it went through a few changes. The shots aren't in sequence, so the lawn comes, the lawn goes, and the lawn comes back again. Don't worry about it. Just watch the film, and I hope it inspires you to get your camera and go out there. And then I'll meet you at Charfield next Friday. Don't be late.